Well, hello there, and welcome to Cityline, zooming from my kitchen into your home. It's great to be here with you. We have a fabulous hour ahead of us. Later on, we'll be talking with Tacoma Musical Playhouse. John Douglas Rake will be here to kind of talk about some of the things that they have that they're working on actually for this fall and ways that you can enjoy all that they do for our community. United Way of Pierce County, Donna Ponapito, isn't that the best name? Donna Ponapito will be here to talk about the Pitch the Ditch Poverty Summit that's coming up that you definitely want to register for, because you got to ask yourself, are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution when it comes to helping wipe out poverty here in Tacoma? And then Tacoma Poet Laureate Abby Murray will be here. She is always a breath of fresh air. The Humane Society is here with their Pet of the Week. And with me right now is somebody who is incredible inside and out, given what she does for our community and also how she feeds us. And I'm talking about the amazing food that she makes. Please join me in welcoming back to Cityline our YWCA Pierce County CEO, Miriam Barnett. Hello, love bug.
Hello, Amanda. Thank you so much. It's a joy to be back on the show.
It's great to have you here. So first and foremost, how are you and your family and your YWCA family doing right now during this pandemic? I mean, we're talking right now, we're almost at the end of October, and I know a lot of us are going, wow, this is hard.
Yeah, it is really hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but we're doing fine. I sometimes get dizzy from pivoting constantly to make things work. And to do so with quite a bit of worry. Worry is not productive, so I try not to go there, but it's hard when things are so uncertain and when domestic violence is now nationwide, including here in Tacoma, on the rise. So we have to stay healthy for our clients, and we are. Absolutely. We're very serious about wearing masks in this agency.
I love that, because there's also just that whole emotional well-being of your team as well, because yes. Your team, all of you are there at the Y are first responders. And you have to be at your best and most filled up self in order to help those. So I know that you are very good at putting the oxygen mask on you and your team so you can help the rest of us here in the city of Tacoma.
Absolutely. Very important. Yeah. And we do really put an emphasis here at the YWCA on wellness, including we have a staff-led wellness committee. And so even in times of COVID, they are looking out for all of our staff and doing things that soothe our souls as well as our hearts and minds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned that domestic violence is on the rise. And of course, October is Domestic Violence Action Month. So how have the need for your services been? Because we are seeing domestic violence on the rise, are you feeling stretched thin? Mm-hmm. Give me an idea of where we are and how we can help.
We're stretched pretty thin, but we're managing. Our shelter is full. It's always full. And then we, of course, have a waiting list. And right now there's 78 people, including families that come with those 78 people on our waiting list. And our waiting list, we do a lethality assessment to really understand how dangerous the situation is for the person calling. And those 78 have scored high. So if they don't score high, then we're able to maybe find other alternative arrangements for them. But these are people who are desperate to get in our shelter. And it's really hard to hear their stories because, they're dealing with, the threat of death daily sometimes. And so it's pretty dire. Coronavirus has not helped. In fact, it's become another tool sometimes for the abuser, threatening if you leave, you're going to get COVID, or I'm going to give you COVID, or however they're using the pandemic as a weapon. And so our shelter is full, like I said, and we do use our confidential motel to get people right out of situations until we can find a next step. Our legal program is so busy that we actually had to shut it down for a while. When our advocates and our attorney have a caseload that becomes unmanageable, they're going to burn out and leave if we don't take care of them. And so we have maximum caseloads. But due to COVID, there's been some money that has become available, and we were able to get 2 different grants, piece them together to hire another advocate. So we are now training our 11th full-time staff member in our legal program, and she will be up and running. It takes a couple good, strong weeks to be able to meet with clients in that program. It's very, very specific things you need to know. But we were able to add an advocate just to meet this extra need that I think is really a result of COVID. So that's the good news.
That is the good news. And we'll take every drop of good news we can get at
Absolutely.
You know, it occurred to me as you were talking, and you know, you and your team, every single day it's something new for you in the sense of domestic violence is it's almost like a Dutch pot that, you know, you've got unemployment, you've got illness, you've got racial tension. You have so much that goes into that phone call to you. And your facility, I would imagine, is closed. So how are you assisting those in need, in the sense of people are so used to just showing up at your door and saying, help me?
Yes. So yeah, you are right. We were, before COVID, a face-to-face program. We were not a remote program at all. To be clear, our shelter has not closed for 1 day. And so it's been open. Our staff have been working the same 24/7 that they worked before. We just changed some protocols to keep people safe, and none of our families have, COVID has not entered our shelter as a result. So I'm really grateful, but everybody has their own apartment. It's not communal living, and that is the key difference. Now, our other programs all have had to pivot. That's where the dizzy part comes in. Legal, we were able to pivot really, really quickly and get cell phones for all of our staff so they can take confidential calls and do the program. The courts keep changing, so it's been challenging for our attorney, but she's been rolling with it, and we've been going through with our cases, winning most of them. So that's really great for clients right now. It would be really hard to have to put their cases on hold for them. So legal program really hasn't missed a beat. We're back fully functioning and open again. So that's good. Support groups are more recent. We really needed to find a confidential platform that could accommodate a lot of people. So those support groups are now up and running. Very happy about that. And then, of course, our hardest program right now to operate is our children's program. Because children really need, who've suffered domestic violence, they really need that extra love and that extra support that in-person brings. So we are still not able to have children in the building, but we are providing activities and assistance for them in our shelter. And then the other program is our counseling program, and we do have a confidential, safe platform. And so people can meet with their counselor one-on-one, face-to-face, as far as Zoom is face-to-face. It's not Zoom because Zoom is not confidential, but a platform like that. And they're very grateful. Amanda, the silver lining in this is that we will continue to offer remote services for legal and for counseling long after we're past COVID, because it takes away the barrier for some clients of transportation. It also means, in the sense of seeing a therapist, if you move out of Tacoma, if you move out of Pierce County and you're no longer able to access our services here in Tacoma, you can still see your therapist remotely. And that's really important, because when you connect with a therapist, you don't want to have to go change therapists and start your story over when you're making progress. So those are several of the silver linings. We will actually continue to offer that as an option.
That is so beautifully said. So Miriam, I'm looking at this beautiful building behind you. And I'm thinking, is this part of the new construction? And because last time we talked, you were in the process of fundraising. So give us an update.
Yeah, so it's the best story of all time, especially during COVID, to have a good story. We have raised the $23.2 million. So that campaign is complete. That does not actually include the 1.8, our land was valued at 1.8 million, which we donated. So that's on top of the 23.2 million. We were lucky that we owned this beautiful land. And this project, the building behind me is the finished project, and we're getting really close. We're all the way to the top. The last beam has been placed. It's still scaffolded though, because they're putting up the siding right now. The project is going to be studio to 3-bedroom apartments with views. 75% of the units will be for currently homeless families, and the other 25% will be for families that have other obstacles. And it's going to be a great addition for people who are seeking a roof over their heads. There's going to be a playground that's going to be safe and secure, and there's going to be quite a few art components that I'm most excited about, because the arts aren't a frill. The arts actually help people heal. And I know this as a fact. We've seen it in our shelter. And I believe really strongly in the arts. And right now, you know, we're all suffering as a nation by the lack of being able to access the arts and live performance. And so I really want to emphasize the importance of art in our environment. And you will see that when our building opens.
Ah, okay, so what can we do to help? What do you need from us to get this building open so we can either virtually cut the ribbon, but we just need people in there?
Yes. So in January, actually before January, probably in the next month, I'll have all the information ready for anybody who's interested. I've come up with a program called Adopt a Room. And so every apartment has at least one bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, and up to 3 bedrooms. So when you adopt a room, you'll get a list that you can decide if you're going to sign up for a small, medium, or large family. Because the difference is if you adopt a bathroom and you only have 2 people, that's 2 toothbrushes. But if you adopt a 3-bedroom, we probably need 6 or 8 toothbrushes. So the list is specific to the size of family and the size of the unit. And everyone can be part of it, because there's like I say, you can adopt 1 bathroom. That's not going to be very encumbersome to go get those items. And then when the families come, every room will have a big basket that welcomes them with all those things that we don't maybe even think about. But if you're homeless, you don't have the money to go buy dish soap. You don't have the money to buy dish towels, lamps, alarm clocks, things that we take for granted in our homes. And so we are spelling those things out. And then of course, there's always the option for the people who adopt to get additional gift cards so that our tenants have the empowerment to then go buy what they need that maybe isn't included. So watch for those lists coming. We're working on them right now. And I just think it's so exciting because it provides a great service for our families, but it also means more people in this community can know they own a piece of making this a successful project.
It's like you just reached into my heart. I'm already thinking about my family and turning this into a competition.
Yes.
And seeing that we're each going to take a room and to see who can do it the best.
Love
with
it.
this amount of budget. So get those lists out there, Miriam, because I got people who decorate.
Yeah, book groups can do this. Churches can do this. Like, we're going to really look to businesses, to our entire community to help us get this project complete. So when it opens, we'll be looking probably about a mid-February deadline to get everything in, because after that, we're hoping early March we'll start having families move in.
Well, as always, my time with you goes by so quickly. Thank you so much for the good news. We are going to look forward to announcements on social media to where we can get these lists. And Miriam, it's always great to have you and your team here. And thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so much. And if people want to friend our Facebook account, YWCA Pierce County, we will be posting on that account.